the natural force of heat and pressure was harnessed into the great machines that powered the 19th and 20th centuries. The first combustion engine that was widely used was the steam engine. Steam engines put the Industrial Revolution on their backs, powering everything from textile mills to trains to ships and many other things as well. A fire heated with coal would cause water to evaporate and expand to create enough pressure to drive a piston or some other mechanism to move the machine as a whole in order to power whatever it is that needed powering, whether it was a ship or a locomotive or factory or whatever. Steam engines were primarily used in an industrial context, powering big things. Once that technology was perfected and widely used, it was only natural given the economic patterns of preceding commodities that this technology be made into some sort of consumer good. The first automobiles were in fact steam-powered. French inventor Nicolas Joseph Cugnot invented a steam-powered tractor in 1769 designed to carry military artillery. This design, however, proved to be inefficient and was not popularized. Other early automobiles were completely electric. Combining an electric motor with rechargeable batteries, inventors like Franz Cavogel and Thomas Parker were able to power their contraptions. Primitive electric cars, of course, sufficiently lacked power and range by today's standards when compared with the Tesla or Mercedes SLS electric drive. They were also extremely expensive and only people of high socioeconomic status could afford to buy them. They were also very faulty and unreliable. Overall, the first electric automobiles were not hugely successful and were just toys for inventors and the wealthy. And at first, the same was true with cars powered by the internal combustion engine. However, the discovery of oil deposits in Europe and the United States made fuel very inexpensive, making the development of the internal combustion engine the best option for powering the automobile. Thanks to John D. Rockefeller and his company Standard Oil, the oil industry became industrialized very rapidly. Additionally, iron ore, when combined with carbon, created steel, which was used to make various components of the car, such as the chassis, doors, side panels, and most importantly, the engine block. The material had to be strong enough not to melt when the engine heated up to high temperatures to the point where the pistons would melt with the cylinders. As we see from the Trading Consequences database website, there are many possible trading locations for steel, especially in Europe and North America. This meant that car manufacturers in Europe and the United States did not have to pay import costs on the steel they used because deposits for it were right in their own backyards. Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-American industrialist who led the enormous expansion of the American steel industry in the late 19th century. He built to leadership roles of philanthropist for the United States and the British Empire. His company, U.S. Steel, supplied automobile manufacturers as well as railroaders. His steel was everywhere, and as a business tycoon, he was one of the wealthiest men in the world. His message in an article he wrote called The Gospel of Wealth called on other wealthy philanthropists to use their money for good and improve society. He created a movement among wealthy individuals to share their money to make the world a better place. American industrialism had a direct effect on the automotive industry and, more important, the development of the most important and widely used source of power for automobiles, the internal combustion engine. Henry Ford's Ford Motor Company is a great example of automobile production and industrialism going hand in hand. The Ford Model T was the first car to be mass-produced through the use of the assembly line, which Henry Ford is said to have invented. Ford broke the Model T's assembly line into 84 discrete steps and trained each of his workers to do just one. His goal was to make cars affordable so that everyone could afford them, not just the extremely wealthy. The Model T was simple, sturdy, and thanks to the efficiency of the assembly line, very inexpensive to cars being produced elsewhere. Without industrialism and the goals of visionaries such as Rockefeller, Carnegie, and Ford, America and the rest of the world would not be the same. Each had a commodity that they represented to contribute to the expansion of American cities and infrastructures. Thanks to them and men like them, industrialism made the world a better place.